Hello, everybody. Sorry for the delay there. I was just having internet problems, but they should be all fixed now, and hopefully our stream won't end. My name is Sarah. I'm with Destination Exploration. I'm currently in university studying mechanical engineering, so I learn a lot about how things move and interact and how we can use that to design cool things like cars or roller coasters or anything that really moves. In my spare time, I really like swimming and playing with my dog. I think he's outside right now, but maybe he'll come in and say hi later. So our goal here at Destination Exploration is to share our love of science, technology, engineering, and math with as many kids as possible. So to help us out, you can like, comment, and subscribe all down below. And yeah, if you want to know anything else about us or see what we have coming up, you can follow us on our social media at ULethbridgeDE. Hopefully it's in the right direction there. Awesome. So let's get into the real reason you're watching this live stream. And we're going to do today's activity. So today we're going to be learning all about density and how we can use that to make cool rainbow towers. So for materials, you'll just need some things that hopefully you can find around the house. The first thing we need will be 5 clear cups. I only have 4 here, but I have my 5th one over there. You can use plastic or glass, but if you are using glass, please be very, very careful because we don't want you to break anything. If you don't have 5 clear cups, you only really need 1 clear cup so you can see your tower. The rest are just for mixing, so it's fine if you can't see through those. Next, we will be needing some sugar. So I have a big tub of sugar here. We'll need about, I believe, 10 tablespoons. So not all of this, not that much. If you don't have a lot of sugar in your house right now, you can also use salt. It works just as well. We'll also be needing some water. So this is my 5th class. I just have it stored in here, but you can also just get it from your sink or anywhere else you get water from in your house. To measure everything, you'll be needing 1 tablespoon. If you don't have a tablespoon, you can use a regular, just normal eating spoon. But then you'll also need an additional spoon to stir everything with. And then finally, you'll be needing some food coloring. So I have 4 here. You just need enough to make 4 different colors. So if you have like blue, yellow, and red, you can make orange with it. So there's your 4 colors, but I have 4 different ones here. Sweet. So I guess we'll get into our activity. So first things first, we're going to take 4 of our cups. We'll see if I can angle my camera so you can see everything. Awesome. I'll take 4 of our cups, and you're going to add 4 tablespoons of water to each cup. So it's really important that each cup has an equal amount of water in it. So we're adding 4 tablespoons. There's 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I just need to go fill this one up a little bit more because I don't have enough. Okay, and I'm back. And our last one is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So right now, all 4 cups have the exact same volume of water. So volume describes how much space something takes up. They also have the same mass because they all are the same substance. So mass describes how many particles are in a given space, and it kind of relates to how much something weighs. So mass and weight aren't very closely related, but they are a little different. So right now, because they all have the same volume and same mass, that means they all have the same density. So density is basically just a relation between how much mass something has and the volume of a substance. So mathematically, density is just mass divided by volume. So for this activity, we need to change our mass of these things, our fluids. So we're going to do this by dissolving sugar into it. So for the first cup, it only needs 1 tablespoon of sugar. So we'll take our tablespoon, and we want to make sure the sugar is nice and even on there, and add 1 tablespoon. For our second cup, we're going to add 2 tablespoons. 1 and 2. For our third one, we'll add 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, and 3. And then for our fourth one, we'll add 4 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sweet. So for each of these, they all have the same amount of water in them, but different amounts of sugar. So just to review, we have 1 tablespoon of sugar in here, 2, 3, and 4 in our last one. And then everything has 4 tablespoons of water. So now to the part that takes a little bit longer. We're going to be dissolving our sugar in our water. So I want to know if anyone knows any ways to dissolve things faster. If you know, you can comment in our live chat, and I'll give you a couple seconds to guess. Everyone needs to keep stirring so everything can dissolve. So one great way that I'm doing right now to help dissolve faster is I'm adding energy to our fluid. So by stirring, I'm adding a lot of energy and I'm causing the molecules to combine and hit each other and dissolve a lot quicker. So that's a very common and easy way to make things dissolve. So a great example is if you are like, I have iced tea that comes in a powder, and I don't just let it sit there to dissolve, I have to stir it to get it to dissolve faster. Saw someone commented to heat it up. That's another great way to make things dissolve faster. It's similar to stirring, so you're adding a lot of energy to the system, and it's causing things to speed up and combine and hit each other, and when they come into contact and collide, then they break up and dissolve a lot quicker. So the cool thing about heating things up is when the molecules are speeding up, they like to take up more space. So that increases the volume of our fluid. And when we increase the volume, our density actually decreases. So if we were to do that today, we wouldn't really notice a difference. But if you're in like a super high-tech lab setting, it might be important to consider that heating up does change the density. So looks like we're almost all finished here. But this last one is going to take a really long time. Can anyone guess why? So it's going to take a lot longer because we have a lot more sugar to dissolve. So when there's a lot of sugar, which is our, I believe it's our solute, and then water is our solvent. So the water doesn't have, there isn't as much water to break it up and dissolve it. So when we add more water, it will actually also help things dissolve quicker. But if we add more water, then it changes the density. So we can't really add more water to this one to speed it up. Otherwise, it might ruin our experiment. So it looks like all our sugar particles are close to being dissolved. You can kind of see some of them are a lot like thicker looking, they're a lot foggier. And then our one with the least amount of sugar is pretty clear. But the one thing that's cool to note is they all have very similar volumes still. So there is a slight increase, but they are all still pretty close in volume. But because there's so much sugar inside, their mass is super, super different. So our next step is we are going to be adding our color to our fluids. So you can go in any order you want. If you want to make it a rainbow, you can go in the rainbow order. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So you can pick 4 of those and go in that order. Or you can just have fun and go in any order you want. I'm going to try and go darkest to lightest, so to kind of help see everything a little better. So I believe my darkest is my blue here, and I'm going to put it in the most dense one because that's going to be the color or the fluid that sits on the bottom of our tower. So I'm just going to add 1 drop. And then next I'll go red, because red is also pretty dark. And we'll add it to our one with 3 tablespoons of sugar in there. So our second most dense. And now I'm going to be adding our green to our second least dense. And then finally I'm going to add yellow to my least dense one. So the one with only 1 tablespoon of sugar in there. So is there anything interesting you notice with our different cups and how the food coloring is kind of dissolving in there. You'll notice with our most dense one, it's just sitting right on top, but our least dense one is already kind of dissolving in throughout without me even having to mix this. So that is because in our most dense one, there's not a lot of room for the food coloring to go. And in our least dense one, there's still a lot of room for it to go in the water, so it has lots of space to spread out. But I'm going to speed up the process and just give it a little mix to make sure all the color is evenly spread throughout. I'm going to try not to spill everywhere. So when you're doing this at home, you're going to want to make sure everything is nice and clean after, because everything will get very sticky because it is a lot of sugar and water. Sweet. Awesome. So now everything's dissolved. I'm going to grab a quick towel and just wipe everything down, so we have a nice clean space to do our final step on. Okay, so for our final step, you're going to want to grab your empty cup. I'm just going to go empty this one. And then we'll pour our most dense one. So just a reminder, that is the one with our 4 tablespoons of sugar and 4 tablespoons of water in it. And we're going to pour it until our empty cup is about 1/4 of the way full. Sweet. Now I'll just put that to the side. Okay, and now we'll go with our second most dense one. This is my red one. Now it's very important the way that we are going to stack them on here. So if we pour it just straight in, they're going to mix, which we don't want. So because they're both sugar and water, they're going to mix super easily. So we need to pour it very slowly to ensure that we have that separate layer. So I'm going to take my spoon that I used to mix, place it in my cup, and then gently pour my second most dense fluid onto my spoon. Be very careful about it. Sweet. And so you're going to want to fill it up so it's about halfway full. So each should take up about 1/4 of the cup. So you can already kind of see we have 2 different layers there. They've kind of mixed in the middle, but that's okay because we can still see the 2 different layers. Now we'll go on to our, I guess, second least dense or third most dense fluid, whichever way you want to look at it. And we'll do that the exact same way. So we're going to place our spoon in and then pour it very gently onto our spoon to try and avoid the mixing. Okay. So it's going to be kind of hard to see on camera, but the colors, since they all have the kind of similar tones, they're going to have, but you can see there's blue on the bottom, red in the middle, and then green on top. It looks a lot better in person, but it's really hard to see on camera, unfortunately. So hopefully when you do this in person, you'll be able to see it super, super well. So, and then same thing for our last one, our least dense. We're just going to pour it onto the spoon and then just let it gently go. Okay. So yeah, still probably hard to see on camera, but in person it does look a lot better, don't worry. But the yellow is on top, and then we do have the blue on the bottom, red, and then green. Yeah, I'm really sorry that it's not showing up super well, but I wish I had a picture that I could insert, but unfortunately it is a live stream, so I can't do that. But yeah, so there's your density rainbow. I hope everyone looks really well. But you'll see, like, some of them did mix, some of the layers unfortunately did mix, so that's why it's kind of hard to see that separation. But can you think of any fluids that you could do this with that wouldn't mix at all? Because I can think of one that you might have seen before, might have done in school. I'll give anyone a couple seconds if they'd like to comment. But sweet. Oh, someone got it right. So they guessed oil. So oil and water do not mix at all. They do not like each other. They will stay completely separated. So, water is more dense than oil, so it will sit on the bottom, and oil is least dense, so it will sit on top. I'm going to actually empty this cup, fill it up with some water, pour some oil on there so everyone can see that. So I got my water, and now I'm just gonna grab some oil. So I got my big old jug of canola oil. You can use olive oil or avocado oil. They all work just as well. So yeah, you'll see that shows up a lot better on camera. You can see the water sits on the bottom and the oil sits up on top. So even if I mix this, they're never going to mix. Unlike our density tower, if I mix our density tower of sugar and water, they'll all mix because they're the same substance, I guess. So yeah, so there's a really cool reason that this happens that you don't really have to know about until you're maybe in high school, but it's because the molecules are actually shaped differently. So one is called polar and one's non-polar, and they never want to mix. So water is polar and water is polar and olive oil is non-polar, so they don't want to mix at all, and that's why they stay super separate. So that's why that happens. And then also their density keeps it different. So there's a lot of other household fluids that you can mix together, but some of them are harder to find, but you can also look up those kind of activities, and they're fun to do at home. So thanks for joining me today for this live stream to do this activity. I hope you had a lot of fun with it and maybe learned something new about density. Oh yeah, we had someone comment syrup. Syrup would be good. Syrup is basically like our sugar water. It's super dense. So if you pour it in here, it will probably sit to the bottom. I think I actually might have some syrup in my fridge, and we can try pouring it in there. Let's see. I do have some syrup. Here, we'll see what happens when we pour it in. Oh yeah. So see, it sinks right to the bottom because it's super dense. So it's really cool. So when you're at home, maybe you can find some other fluids in your fridge that might mix together. I'd say talk to an adult first, because some things aren't that safe to mix together. Like if you mix baking soda and vinegar, it makes a big explosion and makes a mess everywhere. So you're going to want to talk to an adult before you mix anything you're unsure of. But yeah, so thanks for joining us today. Like I said before, I hope you learned something new. If you liked what you saw, make sure to like the video, comment down below, and subscribe. It helps us a lot. And then also feel free to follow us on all our social media. There is our handle again. It's at ULethbridgeDE. Great. So have a great rest of your day. I hope to see you next Tuesday for our next Tuesday Try 'em live stream. Bye.